John
Andrews can't get to it. Could not reel it in. Incomplete. Oh, and it's 1 inch from Baltimore. Going to 9-3.
Well, Ravens went for 2 last week. It didn't work out, but Trent, they were not looking backwards. They always look ahead. John had no second thoughts as he takes his team here into Cleveland today, number 3 in the AFC. And Kevin Stefanski, last year's Coach of the Year in the National Football League, has got his
decision, and I know it didn't work out the way they wanted, but I liked it.
Joe Natson is back. He takes it at the 2. We are underway. Cleveland, one flip of the coin. They have elected to take the ball. And Chris Board among a couple that bring him down. Natson gains 21. This takes us to quarterback Baker Mayfield, who is only 1-5 against Baltimore in his career.
Well, in the bye week, Kevin, came at a great time for Baker Mayfield in terms of letting his body heal a little bit. They only practiced on Monday and Tuesday, and then they had some downtime, so he was able to get the much-needed treatment that he needed to get, and hopefully that pays off here today.
Torn labrum, a fracture in his non-throwing shoulder. Hurt his foot, his heel, his knee, wearing a harness from the 23. Shove in the backfield. On the move, Janovich, 1st and 10.
Whoa,
16.
Terrible. What?
To the air, Mayfield, and into the wind. And that is complete, 2nd and 10. We mentioned before, there is a new right tackle for the Browns up front in rookie James Hudson, 2nd career start.
Well, and that's going to be big against this aggressive Baltimore defense. The communication being the key among the offensive linemen when it comes down to pass protection. And, of course, this run game is really the centerpiece of what the Browns want to do.
Kareem Hunt is in and going wide to the top of your screen. The other receiver.
6.
On the near side, you see the tight end, 2nd and 2. Now the Ravens defense, headlined by the terrific Calais Campbell, who didn't play in game 1 a couple weeks ago with these 2 teams.
And Kevin, that's an important piece to get back for the Baltimore Ravens. And then you look at Bowser, who leads this team in sacks. Patrick Queen leads the team in tackles. He's been very aggressive now that he's moved from middle linebacker to weak side linebacker, utilizing that speed to make plays in the backfield.
5 in the secondary. 3rd and 11. Grab, it looks like, by Kareem Hunt. And they're short, getting to the 29. Picking up 8 on 3rd and 11. So the punting unit comes out, and this is a new punter. Dustin Colquitt coming in. Jamie Gillen is on the COVID list. And here is the 39-year-old Dustin Colquitt, who was cut earlier this week by Atlanta.
Well, it's been a good portion of his career, 15 years with the Kansas City Chiefs. And as you said, he was with Atlanta just a few weeks ago.
Duvernay is back. Wind is going to fiddle with this ball all day long. And out of bounds it goes, and some boos erupting a little bit. 38-yard punt. And out of bounds it goes, and this brings us to Baltimore's offense. And here is the 2019 MVP, Lamar Jackson, in a tough little patch right now with his career.
Well, and both of these offenses have struggled when you look at the points that have been scored over the last few weeks by these teams. And Lamar Jackson talked to us about that. He said, we need to get better on 1st and 2nd down. Very similar to what we just saw the Browns go through, struggling on 1st and 2nd down, leaving you in 3rd and long. So both of these teams need to try and have more success in the early downs.
Freeman the back in the fake there, and it's 1st and 10 for Lamar. And that's lassoed with a nice dive. It's made by Brown, picking up 11, put him out at the 43. 1st down for the Ravens, and here is their offensive line. The tackles have been his way into the grasp of a couple, including Jordan Elliott on a gain of 5, and up to the 48-yard line of the Baltimore Ravens. Defensively, the headliners we mentioned before, Myles Garrett, and Clowney just as devastating.
Well, and they have a lot of pieces missing today. No Anthony Walker, no Ronnie Harrison, no Greg Newsome, missing some key starters on that defense.
2nd and 5, good block throwing away, but then running up and being brought down by Clowney with no gain. Lamar Jackson tried to escape.
Was one of the things we talked to Myles Garrett about, was just when you rush, you have to rush with your eyes up. Sometimes you can just dip your head and go after the quarterback, but Clowney that time use that as an example in terms of keeping your head up, because Lamar Jackson can escape. So not only do you want to maintain your rush lane, but you got to be able to see where he escapes, and if you can make that tackle. That time Clowney able to come up with it.
3rd down 5. Jackson corkscrewing his way to the 49. Nice hit on the play by Tack McKinley, a former #1 draft choice. For Atlanta, they pick up a yard. It's 4th and 4. Here comes the Baltimore punting unit.
Well, Kevin, you and I talked about this may be a defensive battle, especially based on the game 2 weeks ago and how these offenses have struggled. And sure enough, the first 2 series, each team 3 and out.
Sam Cook wind at his back. Demetric Felton, who's a rookie out of UCLA, is back. Falls on it at the 14-yard line with a hang of 4-3. 38-yard punt. And we'll take a break. Another look at the offense of the Cleveland Browns, led by Baker Mayfield on CBS. Today's game provided by Goodyear. Good shot right there, manned by Captain J. His crew calls him LL Cool J. There he is, floating above. Here in Cleveland, each team has had it once. Each team has punted. Blake Hance is in as an extra lineman. Chubb on 1st and 10, chased by Queen. Some friendly fire and knocked out of bounds by Westry, who starts in the secondary with a flag thrown on the play.
Number 62, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That is Blake Hance, who's out of Northwestern. He's been in 5 NFL camps, undrafted. He has started this year. He was the extra lineman on this play.
Well, and he's to the outside, and as you can see, anytime you try and you see the defensive linemen throw their hands up, and I know they're taught that sometimes when that edge works, you just to try and get the call, but that was definitely a hold that time.
Kind of like an all-star wrestling. Remember, you had no foreign object.
Well, you covered it's an NBA move that those.
They call that flopping. 1st and 17. Penalty back to the 8-yard line. And he'll flip it outside here, and it's caught by Landry, the 5-time Pro Bowler. Out of bounds he goes. Everett was there, gain of 3 to the 12. And these 2 teams, as we mentioned, played just a couple weeks ago. Pittsburgh and Baltimore met last week. Cleveland was off, they had a bye. So this is the first time any team in the NFL has done this.
Well, and if you go back to 91, the 2 teams that played in that game, the Seahawks and Chargers, they both had bye weeks in between. Whereas the Ravens, you know, they played Pittsburgh a week ago, whereas Cleveland had the bye.
Hunt is in with the fake, 2nd and 14, and rips it out, incomplete. Peoples-Jones covered by Everett. And with Humphrey gone, he becomes the top cornerback for that secondary.
3, ball's placed at the spot of the foul, automatic, 1st down.
Ravens coming off a season-high 10 penalties last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
To the outside. Peoples-Jones goes to make the out cut, and Everett just gets his hands on him at the top.
Second possession for Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Chubb, 1st and 10.
Pressuring the quarterback, getting after that time behind the line of scrimmage, and as you said, going against a heck of a player in Joel Bitonio, and able to come off on that and limit that game.
So first quarter scoring for the Browns over the last 2 games, nothing in the first quarter against Detroit and Baltimore. They wanted to rectify that today, 2nd and 8. Brandon Stevens, gain of 9 on 2nd down and 8. 1st down to the Cleveland 40.
Well, in the shift before the play, moving Felton from left to right, that takes that extra defender out of there. So all of a sudden, it's just one-on-one on the backside. And as soon as the running back runs to the flat, that takes the inside linebacker out of there. That gives Hooper a lane and an easy completion for Mayfield.
9-yard pickup right there. Right tackle, the All-Pro, Jack Conklin is out. Leading receiver is out. Njoku, and the punter is out, as we've seen. 1st and 10. Janovich the block in time for Baker, and downfield and incomplete. Westry was all over Landry, and the flags on the field show it. They've already had an 18-yard penalty on Everett in the secondary for the Ravens, and this is number 2 in this drive.
Defense, number 30. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul.
He should have been caught. Watch the right arm of Landry, and he pulls him with him.
There's a lot of contact.
Yeah, it's a lot of contact, but I don't think Westry should have been flagged on that. I think, if anything, it was Landry drawing the penalty by wrapping his arm around Westry.
Couple tight ends, Chubb in the backfield. First down and 10, second possession for the Browns, and trying to dance with not much there, and wrapped by Calais Campbell on a gain of a yard. Chubb to the 29.
Well, this defense is #1 in the NFL in run defense.
48 penalty yards on the Ravens defense on this drive. Ravens defense has not allowed a first half touchdown in the last 4 games. Second down 9. Mayfield, they're bringing pressure, and he kicks it outside to Hunt, and holding on for dear life with the stop. Stevens, gain of 4, 25 of Baltimore.
I'm not sure who's
Players down. Yep.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. Celebrate every kiss with Kay. Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance.
5. Mayfield is at 5 in a row. Second possession for the Browns. He's bringing pressure again, and he throws it away and incomplete. And I guess it was Hooper in the vicinity, but they're bringing pressure. This was a defense that led the NFL in blitz rate the past 2 seasons. This year, the Baltimore defense, Trent, #3.
Well, and the Ravens that time, yes, they were bringing pressure, but that was supposed to be a wide receiver. He was in position. The line weren't able to get out and get a block on him, thus forcing the incompletion in the field goal attempt.
Chase McLaughlin, with the new holder in Dustin Colquitt, will try a 43-yard field goal to get an early lead. This is into a stiff 17-mile-an-hour wind, and he got it. And he now goes to 15 of 19. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from
Baker Mayfield.
Did you change the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, yeah, I did. It's 0/slot95 Hwood Duffy Texas Smash Post. Lowercase Texas Smash Post.
Okay, got it. All right, check that out.
Bernie Kosar, Cleveland's greatest quarterback.
You look good.
What an arm.
Yeah, I mean, I really used to like watching you play when I was 3, but...
Pass interference calls against Westry and Averett, and that's what got him in position. That second one against Westry was a question mark at the very least, with Landry having his arm wrapped around his waist. Now I've got to see if the Baltimore Ravens can respond.
McLaughlin, you just kicked that field goal, kicks it off here. Duvernay, an explosive returner, is tripped up and taken down on the play. MJ Stewart got him. 19-yard return. Second look at Lamar Jackson and the offense of Baltimore with a 1st and 10.
And Kevin, I had made the mistake after the last series saying that the Ravens had gone 3 and out. Of course, on first down, they got an 11-yard completion, so it was a 4 and out. But other than that first big play, a good response by the Cleveland defense.
17-yard line. 1st and 10. McLaughlin's field goal puts him up. How does Baltimore respond? Just whacked Freeman on a cross. 2-yard gain. Denzel Ward has played at a Pro Bowl level this season. Top 5 cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah, he's played outstanding. And when you think of that's a clean hit. He doesn't use his helmet. Gets him in the shoulder.
2 tight ends, second down 8. Garrett was blocked. Outside they go here. Andrews, and caught a
sense, or at least I can, from the energy. Right now the Browns seem to have more energy coming off of that bye week, getting that rest, whereas the Ravens had to go against the Browns and then a big rivalry against the Pittsburgh Steelers, now coming back another division and rivalry game against the Browns. Right now they seem a little more flat than the Browns do from an energy level.
Also, Cleveland has got to win 4 of the next 5, right, Trent, to realistically be looking at a postseason.
Realistically, when you look at numbers and tiebreakers and all those things that come into...
Illegal shift. Offense. Not all players were set prior to the snap. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Second straight punt coming up for the Baltimore Ravens.
So really it's all three players here. Watch, you have to be set. If there's more than one person moving, you have to be set for a full second. None of those three were set for a full second. Maybe Andrews was, but the two guys.
Three and bobbled again. Dalton jumps on this. That sun might be fooling with his eyesight.
Yeah, Kevin, you mentioned that on the last punt return. It is. I think the angle of that sun is messing with him.
All right. Browns will get it up on a field goal on CBS. FirstEnergy Stadium on the banks of Lake Erie. Here in the Great Lakes, 45-degree day. Wind chill makes it feel like it's in the 30s. 1st and 10 after the punt by Baltimore. Crumbling pocket. He got Matabike was chasing and then shoved out by Bowser. Gain of 3, and he's up to the 37.
I thought it pretty funny when you brought up the young mobile quarterbacks, and Baker kind of laughed and said, well, Kevin, I appreciate you putting me in that company, but I'm not nearly as fast or as mobile as some of those other guys. But that time he showed great movement, getting out of the pocket, escaping the sack, and able to pick up a few yards instead of taking a tackle for loss.
Kareem Hunt is the... And they go to the 40, Mel, gain of 3.
Kevin, an update for you on Ravens defensive tackle Calais Campbell. We saw him walk off the field and into the blue medical tent slowly with medical personnel. He appeared to be in a lot of discomfort. He has a thigh injury and was still walking gingerly out of that blue tent, but he is questionable. It appears he's going to try and go back in. He's on the sideline with his helmet on right now, and they need him. This Baltimore defense can't afford to lose another starter.
Oh, my, that is a lot of man to keep track of. 6'8", over 300 pounds. That's a lot of body.
I was going to say 6'8", that's a lot of thigh. That's
in 4. Hunt was in, hands the block, downfield he goes, and he's got him at the 30. Nice catch, Peoples-Jones, who is coming off an injury last time these teams met. 35-yard strike, put him at the 26. And the coverage in the play by Averett and others in the secondary for Baltimore.
Well, and this is just confusion. Watch, it's just going to be a combination route as he comes in motion, and watch both defensive backs go with the out route. That back shoulder was able to get a big completion.
Stevens with the tackle, 1st and 10, and here they go underneath. And Hooper again with Queen tackling, gain of 5, Trent inside the 21. First meeting 2 weeks ago, the Ravens defense held the Browns running game in check. And so far today, 3 yards for Hunt, 3 yards for Chubb, 3 yards for Mayfield. And this is one of the more prolific. And Trent's down to the 19.
Well, and once again, trying to run that football in the interior part of the line as you see a mass change of personnel here for the Ravens coming onto the field. And you would think at this down and distance, maybe get Mayfield in some space, use some bootlegs nakeds. They've used for the most part, that's where they've had their success in the passing game, is off of play action.
Hunt is in, 3rd and 3.
The left of Baker Mayfield, and he came over. It looked like he was going to get the block on Owe, but instead he slips past him out into the flat.
That was Geno Stone who made that hit. His first tackle today. 7th play of the drive.
180.
Chubb in. And Chubb. Janovich the block. The pile driving block to the 10. Couple there. Welch was there. Washington with the hit. Browns offense has scored a touchdown on their last 10 red zone possessions against Baltimore. We just saw it moments ago. 2nd and long 5. Big play, 34-yard pass to Peoples-Jones downfield. Mayfield to the Pro Bowler Landry.
Well, Kevin, it's hard to believe, but here we are. And that is Jarvis Landry's first touchdown reception of the season. He gets out in space, and as soon as you can freeze Young, he turned around and squared him up. He didn't catch the ball and go right to the flat. He turned around and squared him up. Just that little bit of hesitation by Young allowed Landry to get into the front corner.
Landry had 111, his 12th. Tavon Young was defending. And 6 on the board on that throw by Mayfield.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, and by Old Navy. Happy holidays.
8-year veteran Jarvis Landry just lassoed his first touchdown pass of the season. 9-yard throw from Baker Mayfield. A robust 8-play drive, big play, 34-yard pass to pass in the NFL. And no kidding, they've got 3 of their 4 starters from opening weekend out. Duvernay lets this die in the end zone to the 25. Let's go downstairs to Mel.
Kevin, Baker Mayfield has been dealing with a plethora of injuries this season. Check this list out, starting with a partially torn left labrum, a fractured humerus bone in that same shoulder, a bruised right knee. He has a left heel issue and a left groin injury. He told us, my shoulder is what it is. He knows he'll have to have...
He's wearing a harness, Mel. Thanks. 1st and 10. Handoff on the fake. And Freeman tries to thrash his way and does for 5 on the play to the 30-yard line.
Well, and you can see Baltimore trying to change things up. They've had success in their 2-minute offense, so now going to more of an up-tempo, no-huddle approach, getting on the ball quickly to try and change what's going on the offensive side right now.
And the pistol, 2nd and 5. Got a nice block in there, flag thrown. He picks up 11.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And that's on Villanueva, the starting left tackle, who's taken the place for the injured All-Pro Ronnie Stanley.
Well, when we talked to Alejandro yesterday, we mentioned, and I brought up the fact, I said, you know, you block for Ben Roethlisberger for years and years. It's a different type of quarterback who stands in the pocket. Is it much different? He says, well, you really can't get caught up thinking about that too much.
Touchdown pass by Mayfield, 10-0 Cleveland. Staggering start for the top team in the AFC North. Ravens offense, Trent has not scored a first quarter touchdown in the last. There's a flag. Andrews got it. Delpit over there along with Malik Jackson chasing him with the flag thrown.
Well, Owusu Koromora was the one coming on the blitz, and
boy, he's good.
He is fast.
He's fast, yes.
He's made a huge impact as a rookie.
Indeed, he has. Number 1 rated rookie in pro football. And a player down.
Ineligible man downfield.
Lamar.
Offense. Number 74.
Owusu Koromora comes down. Oh, and he lands on that left, the back of the left heel. But Lamar looks like he's grabbing the other leg. I'm not.
Well, we know he was sacked 7 times by Pittsburgh last week.
Let's see if we get an angle here. Oh, he gets both ankles. He lands on the back of both heels.
So Tyler Huntley would be the quarterback, and here he comes. He has got to start this season when Lamar missed a couple weeks ago. We're going to take a look at Jackson, who is everything to this offense, clearly. Huntley comes in. First year out of Utah.
Well, that would be a huge loss, obviously, for the Ravens, not only today, but as this season moves forward. Just having a hobby.
Underneath when Watkins was flying down that sideline and going against Ward. 4th down, here comes the punting unit for a 3rd consecutive possession.
Well, and that's a tough task anytime you come off the bench, not having any warm-ups, 3rd and 10, and he just tried to hit it in a timing route and throw in the back shoulder, and we see Lamar.
Right ankle, looks like. He's saying, hold on here.
A lot of times you get up and you try walking it off. You're like, okay, maybe.
Cook is going to punt. JoJo Natson is back from the 15-yard line. Young tackled and brought down on the play. They had Felton, but he's muffed a couple. He's recovered both muffed punts. But they've got Natson back there activated today with an 8-yard return on a 60-yard Sam Cook punt. moments ago, they took the star Lamar Jackson to the locker room. So Calais Campbell, their best defensive player, is out now with an injury early in the game. And now they take Jackson, the best offensive player. And they're already just injury riddled.
Hey, we're going to go to
like no one's business. From the 23 after the punt, 1st and 10.
180! Is that?
Chubb in the backfield, Mayfield.
With weight on it, so you don't want to speculate, but anytime you see somebody not willing to put weight on it, it obviously raises the concern. And as you said, many injuries for the Baltimore Ravens.
Hands remain.
Hey, rock. Come here. All the way. 180! Is that?
This is 2nd down and 3 for Mayfield, and this is Chubb trying to dart his way and can't get by the grasp of Justin Houston, limiting him to a gain of 2 just beyond the 31.
Well, this is an area that they struggled the last time these two teams played, and Cleveland has been doing phenomenal compared to what the game was a couple weeks ago. Baker Mayfield completed under 50% of his passes in that first matchup, and so far today, starting off 10 of 12. 83 yards and a touchdown, but here we are 3rd and short. And you know the Ravens are going to stack that line of scrimmage.
2 tight ends, including Forrestall.
Within that box, and you come off the play fake. He wants to throw the ball. Listen, he wants to get it to the flat to Chubb or hit Hooper on the backside as the second receiver, but nobody is to the outside. And with that week off and that heel feeling much better, as Melanie told us earlier, he was able to run and get the first down.
4 down. Ringo 6. Wait. 180. Is that?
A defensive highlight for Bill.
How about Micah Parsons, rookie year, his 11th sack of the year. He's going to hit Tyler Heineke. Dorrance Armstrong's going to pick it up. Rumble 37 yards for the touchdown. It is Dallas 18, Washington 0. Mike McCarthy predicted this one.
Kevin, it's all good in the studio with that defensive highlight for Cowher.
I know that. He's a Hall of Fame coach, and that's why he's in Canton, because defense was on the top of his list. 2nd and 4, first place, Dallas on top. Move and get the first down for the Browns near the 42 of Baltimore with a burst of 15.
Great job. You mentioned the fact that Teller coming out in space. Watch as he pulls, gets to the outside. Chubb just gets it around to the outside, but it's the block of Teller getting out in space, puts the clamps on, doesn't get the hold call because he wasn't holding, but you could see the way he had his arms set up, and he knew to take them off at the right time. Chubb with the big run.
Stevens with the stop, 1st and 10. Teller a block, time for Baker with the wind. Caught out of bounds, flag thrown, grabbed by Peoples-Jones, coverage by Chris Westry.
Well, Westry's going to get called on the hold or the pass interference. They try to double move. Peoples-Jones, when he did the stutter and go, Westry just basically clamped onto him, and Mayfield saw that, threw it up for grabs, hoping to get the call.
But Westry has been hit with 2 PIs already.
Well, in that it'll be interesting to see from a catch standpoint if he comes down in bounds, if they want to challenge it, because that penalty they ended up calling. Let's see.
Oh boy.
Wow.
It looked good.
I don't know on that if it's enough.
Oh my goodness.
That was phenomenal.
That was some kind of, just had a sliver of grass with which to work.
Well, and you can see the grass shoot up in the air, so great job of body control and getting his feet down.
With 7 consecutive completions, he's got now 8. Hooper looking for a block. Landry provided. He'll screw drive his way down near the 5, inside the 6, and close to a first down. Mel, what do you have?
Kevin, just a quick update on Lamar Jackson. We saw him being helped onto the cart and taken into the locker room. It is indeed an ankle injury, but the Ravens are telling me he's questionable. So a good sign they haven't ruled him out yet.
Very good, Mel. Thank you. And
being that first down, because there wasn't a lot there. He ends up having to bounce around and make things happen. There it was with Hooper attempting to block and not able to get it. But Chubb able to get across the 5-yard line, which was all he needed to set up 1st and goal.
Hence, the extra lineman has been taken out. Chubb is in. 9th play of the drive, 1st and goal. Block right there by Batonio.
And Kevin, it's just amazing he picked up 2. There was we showed that in the open about the swarm defense mentality that the Ravens have and not giving Nick Chubb anywhere to escape to in their first matchup. And that time Chubb looked like he was going to get tackled for loss and found a crease inside, able to pick up a 1.5 yards.
Hey, we're out there. Out. We're out there. We're out, right.
Over the head of Hooper. Young was on him. Flag is thrown. Another one. 4th we've seen thrown on a passing situation for the Browns against the secondary of the Ravens.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 25. Ball is placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Young.
They play a lot of man-to-man, and you can see in the corner here, hands on.
1st and goal. Hands and done. Fake. Touchdown. Hooper. 1 yard. 2nd touchdown pass by Baker Mayfield.
Well, bringing in the extra offensive lineman, giving the hard play fake. Chubb even jumping in the air to make it look like he has the ball. We're going to see Hooper on the edge here. He's going to come down and then go to the outside. But one to where Hooper can get out to the outside, and Mayfield lays it perfectly away from the defender to get 6.
Couple of PIs called on the secondary. Here is McLaughlin putting it through in a 17-0 lead for the Cleveland Browns. 3 tight ends are out today for Cleveland. But Hooper is there and grabs this pass to up the lead for the Browns in Cleveland against the Ravens.
Cellular.
Back in Cleveland to help people affected by the southern and Midwest tornadoes. Text tornadoes to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross Southern and Midwest tornadoes relief. The pictures were almost unimaginable when you watched them over the weekend, and our thoughts
can give is much appreciated.
Duvernay at the 10. McLaughlin with the kickoff. And down he goes. Nice hit on the play by Herb Miller, just called off the COVID list. Moments ago, Lamar Jackson going down for the Ravens.
Just gets clipped on the back of both heels as he was going to the ground. He tried getting up and walking it off. Went to the 10, and as you can see, taken to the locker room for further evaluation.
Ravens lead the North, controlling their own destiny coming in. Tyler Huntley, who undrafted out of Utah. He has started one game, as we mentioned, with the handoff here to Freeman, who goes bashing his way up the middle for 4 and put him at about the 26.
You can see his numbers there in his lone start of his much more difficult position, where you come into a game, you're cold, you're on the sideline, you got to jump in there, you haven't been getting the reps during the week of practice, and you're going against a AFC North foe that is in a must-win situation.
Fake to Murray, end around Duvernay on a 2nd down and 6, and he was grabbed and knocked out. Wosu Koromoa was over there chasing him. He can go sideline to sideline with any speedster. Gain of 3, Tom. He is a high school player from Hollandale, Florida. High school player of the year in the state of Florida. And he followed a high school teammate to Utah and played for the Utes. Undrafted, picked up by this team. His stats coming in, 31 of 47. No touchdowns. He has thrown a pick. 3rd and 3. Oh, what a play. Coming through, the quarterback took it, and Troy Hill.
I'm able to come up with the sack.
Joe Nansen is back for a 2nd consecutive punt. Good. And a low, long snap from Nick Moore. With the wind holding it up, and he'll run it from the 31. The fearless Joe Nansen.
That was a gutsy catch.
Was indeed 2-yard return. Here comes Baker Mayfield. He's thrown 2 touchdowns today. The 100 Cleveland winning here 17-0. Injuries up and down. The best defensive and offensive player gone for the Ravens here. 1st and 10. Inside they go. Peoples-Jones. Hit by Stevens. He's had a big start today. 12-yard pickup in the 44 of the Browns. 1st and 10.
Just a regular slant flat combination. If the inside defender leaves to go to the flat, that leaves a window for the slant behind it. And
it's about the time he took off a year ago. Hance, extra lineman in.
180. What's that?
The play action, Batonio the block. Time for the quarterback. Intercepted on the play. Picked off here. Avery got it. Oh, and he picks off the quarterback, Baker Mayfield. And the Ravens will have it in outstanding field position. First interception in the last 6 games, going back to week 7.
All to the inside. It almost makes me think that he thought that Landry was going to come down the stem instead of going to the sideline, but interception for the Ravens.
Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, Hall of Fame coach Bill Cowher, scores, news, headlines, highlights, all coming up. The Verizon halftime report. Anthony Averett, the most targeted cornerback in pro football. His 3rd interception. First play, run in Cleveland territory. Huntley for the injured Jackson. Duvernay outside, entangling out there with Greedy Williams.
On Lamar Jackson, and Tyler Huntley runs this Ravens offense. I'm told punter Sam Cook is the emergency quarterback. He's staying warm down here on the sideline. Imagine that.
Well, he's 39. He would
Ravens fans don't want to imagine that. They don't want to imagine that.
Earlier, he was working on that arm. 2nd and 7. Huntley outside, Brown there. Hit by Ward, ushered out of bounds. Close to a first, got to the 30.
Huntley's been able to hit back-to-back passes to set up a 3rd and short. But I'd have to think if they don't convert it here that they're going to go for it on 4th down, as long as it is short and doesn't get backed up by a penalty or a sack.
Third down 2. Freeman trying to chisel. Nothing there. Hit by a couple. Troy Hill, Uzu Koromoa, all had a hand on it. They stone him at the 32.5.
Enough to inspire the coaches to go for it on 4th down. With the loss of 2 there, it might as well bring in the best kicker in the NFL and try and get some points.
Yep. Someday he could be in Canton. 50-yard try right now. He's only missed 2. In his career, he's made 17 of 18 field goal attempts in this stadium. Only one that he missed blocked. Justin Tucker. And he drills it from 50. Another. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this.
Our Fairbanks, Alaska store is closest to the North Pole, which has folks wondering, does Santa shop at the Home Depot?
No comment. No comment.
No comment. There's a lot of Nicks in this town.
Somebody made the naughty list.
These tiny gloves are the most popular. We don't know why.
It's elves.
Come on, Bryce.
Find everything you need to make the holidays yours. And maybe Santa?
Santa, I'm Keith.
At the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
I've never seen a big guy wear flip-flops.
So the Ravens get on the board. They cash in on the Averett interception. They get the 50-yard field goal. Cleveland's defense holds them, and they don't get any more than 3. And it's 17-3, and we're late in the second quarter. A look at John Harbaugh. My goodness, what a great job he's done. Team is still at number 3 with all the pertinent players they've lost, and no greater indication than to today their best defensive player, Campbell, out early in the game with an injury, and Lamar Jackson out. May return, ankle injury in the locker room right now. Tucker on the ground at the 2. Nansen will just fall on the ball with a flag, and he steps out of bounds.
What a smart play. Well, no, he stepped out of bounds before he touched the ball. So since his foot was out of bounds when he touched the ball, that'll be out of bounds. That'll be a penalty on the Ravens.
Number 9 of the kicking team by rule. The This is a kick out of bounds. The ball is placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
Great job by Natson.
Very smart.
Then that means that the ball's out of bounds. So excellent heads-up play by Natson there. Instead of on the 2-yard line, they now have it at the 40.
I don't think Justin Tucker thought it was so smart. He thought, wait a minute. Johnson is the running back, and Mayfield gives to Ernest Johnson. Oh, nice cut inside. Breaking a tackle. Oh, he's slippery, and he takes it into the secondary. Brought down by Clark. 13-yard pickup. And a first down into Raven territory at the 47.
Well, Kevin Stefanski told us yesterday that they were going to have to utilize Hance, normally a tackle or guard, play him more at tight end in this game because of all the numbers that are down at tight end. And that time, Hance had the edge, leaving a crease, and then, of course, the broken tackle to pick up the first down.
Brings him down about the 41-yard line of Baltimore. Gain of 6 in that first down throw. Landry today has been in the sights of Baker Mayfield. 4 catches, 25 yards. Peoples-Jones has caught 3 for 73. Mayfield, 16 of 19 for 143.
Wait. You good? Hey, A6. 180.
Second down 4. To Ernest Johnson. Tried to pick and poke his way. Not elusive that time. Dodging nobody. Queen along with Bowser. Bottom of the pile. Oweh all with the gang tackle. The 2-minute warning with the Browns on top.
Want more?
Until he's coming off the bye week, he looks much more fresh than he had in previous weeks.
2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. Mayfield, Antonio a block. And looking inside, and it will be picked off one. So dropped by Stevens. And he had it on the ricochet, incomplete. Peoples-Jones downfield, a nest of
twice and not able to come up with it. For the Browns here, you got all 3 timeouts, so go ahead and punt it down in there. The Ravens have, as crazy as this sounds, it's almost halftime. The Ravens have more points, 3, than they do first downs, 1. And they got that first down on the very first play of the game for them offensively, 11-yard completion.
Dustin Colquitt, his brother Britton, punted here in Cleveland for 3 years. Signed this week, lands it inside the 10. That's a beauty. Taki. Good special teamer makes the grab. A nice start for Dustin Colquitt on a 35-yard, well-placed punt. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award recognizes NFL players who've exhibited excellence on the field and whose passion to impact lives /Man of the Year. Baltimore 3 timeouts. Huntley in there for the injured Lamar Jackson. And they've got the spinning running back who takes it up. That is Freeman for 6, and he's up to the 16.
Well, and the Browns were all set to call timeout. They even had their trainers running on the field with the water bottle, but because of the big gain, they decided to not call timeout.
2nd and 3, they go outside, and Andrews is there. And he is grabbed by Owusu Koromoa with a gain of 3 of them today. Tyler Huntley in there for the injured Jackson. Ravens' first down since early in the first. Huntley on 1st and 10, batted down. Incomplete. It may have been Clowney.
Yeah, I think it was Clowney coming off that edge. He wasn't in a 3-point, he was in a 2-point. As he comes up the field, he sees what Huntley's trying to do. Able to time that jump out perfectly.
That is a way to pinch the pocket. 2nd and 10. What do you? 2nd and 10.
I'm laughing because it is, I mean, those are 2 imposing.
Oh, Huntley was hit. That's loose. It's free. Myles Garrett picks it up, takes it in, touchdown!
They didn't call it an incompletion.
Holy Toledo, what a play!
Garrett gets credit for all of it. He gets a sack, he gets a fumble, forced fumble, gets a fumble recovery, and gets the touchdown.
Everything inside 2 minutes reviewed upstairs. You don't have to go every scoring play reviewed.
Turnovers reviewed, scores reviewed, inside 2 minutes reviewed. As we take a look at Huntley, Garrett coming off of the side there. Does he get the ball out before the arm starts coming forward? That's going to be the big question that needs to be answered. But what an incredible play by Myles Garrett.
Well, I think his arm was cocked and that ball was free.
Yep.
That's a touchdown.
Yeah, that is.
That's a touchdown. Fumble, touchdown, Cleveland.
A lot of times when you see the ball go forward and they're going right to the extra point. That was reviewed quickly. It's confirmed as a touchdown. A lot of times you see the ball going forward, you think the arm's going forward, but you could see on that replay the ball was knocked loose and it was his forearm that knocked the ball forward after it came loose. Incredible play by Garrett.
The 3 Cleveland with 49 seconds to go. Huntley was hit. The welcoming party in the pound for Garrett, who takes it in on a defensive touchdown. That's an eventful play for Myles Garrett. And the quarterback, Tyler Huntley, taking the place of the injured Lamar Jackson. Had all kinds of congestion around him. The ensuing kickoff after the 15-yard fumble return touchdown. Duvernay tries to find his way, dashing up the middle for 23. So the AFC playoff picture. Baltimore is at 8-4. Cincinnati, if Baltimore would lose, you know what happens to the Bengals because they've had a win over Baltimore, and they're going to meet right after Christmas in a game that you and I will do for CBS. Cleveland could move up a bit with a win clearly, but they've got to win 4, we think, of the next 5 to be legit. 1st and 10. Huntley. And he zigs and zags his way out to the 25 and is eventually stopped on the play by Malik McDowell on a gain of 2. Timeout taken.
Well, it's interesting to see who it is that takes it. I would guess it's. So Baltimore is taking
Ravens
the
took
timeout.
it. Yeah, Ravens took the timeout.
See, I was thinking, you know,
seconds. Thank you.
They've got the ball coming out first in the second half, so their mindset, considering the score, I thought if they had gotten a bigger chunk of yardage on 1st down, I could understand it. But the fact that they only got a couple of yards, knowing that they have Justin Tucker over there, changes it a little bit in terms of the distance you need to pick up to have a field goal attempt.
2nd down, 8. Blocked by Phillips. Again, the crumbling pocket, and here goes Huntley running for a 1st down. Getting a block on the side there from Rashad Bateman. Leading the way to the 43 of Baltimore and out of bounds with an 18-yard romp.
Well, and Huntley's legs got him that one. He was trying to get, they only rushed 4. They collapsed the pocket around him, and he was able to escape. And then with defensive players locked on their mans, he was able to get the corner and get the. So now all of a sudden with 2 timeouts, 29 seconds, you can utilize the whole field. You could throw in the middle of the field. You could take a shot, whatever it is you want to do.
The best kicker in pro football there too. 1st and 10. Up the middle they come with McDowell. Did Hollywood get it? He did. Nice catch. Right in front of Troy Hill. Marquise Brown gets that one. Gain of 9 to the 48.
And Kevin, I'm not going to kid you. That anytime you throw it wide to the wide side of the field from the far hash and the ball floats in the air, as long as it did, that can be dangerous. But he left it to the outside where only Brown could get it. And Marquise able to get his feet down.
Now Tucker skipped a 66-yarder, but that was indoors. 2nd down, 1. Huntley and deep and incomplete. Too strong that time for limping. Well, they can't afford to lose anybody else. I mean, they've had 88 different changes. 90's the limit. And I think Tennessee is #1 with the most people used by a team in the NFL with COVID and injuries and everything else. 3rd and 1. Baltimore 0-5 on 3rd downs.
Well, and John Harbaugh told us, he said, listen, you can't let that paralyze you. You've got to get guys ready, and whoever the next guy up, you got to get in there and play. And that's what they've tried to do.
3rd and 1. Underneath. Falling down. Gain of 4 is the running back, Devontae Freeman. They'll put him at the 44. Owusu Koromoa was there. Also hit by Delpit. High pick out of LSU as Tucker prepares on the sideline, knowing he's going to be facing about a 17-mile-an-hour wind. The Verizon halftime coming up. JB and Company, news, scores, headlines. Kansas City is pounding the Raiders right now. That's the Verizon halftime report from our CBS studios in New York. Coming up next.
Load it.
1st and 10. One timeout, Baltimore. Blocked by Freeman. Outside they go. Bateman. Nifty little move right there, then taken down from behind by Stewart. Made that move around Greedy Williams. Caught and ran 20 yards. Put him at the 24.
Well, and that's the risk you take when you decide to bring pressure, when you decide to blitz like the Browns did. That leaves a lot of one-on-ones. This is just a generic hitch. But with nobody else around, if you're able to make that first defender miss, as Bateman was able to against Williams, all of a sudden that creates a lane. Then you start worrying if you're the Ravens. It's like, okay, you're going to use up too much time to where we can't get the timeout. But they were able to make the tackle and get the timeout. Now Tucker can attempt a field goal.
All right, so here's Tucker. He's already kicked a 50-yard field goal. This will be a 42-yard attempt. On that drive, Huntley ran for 9. Brown caught 1 for 9. Bateman just got 1 for 24 to put him in Tucker range, which is a bunt from here in Elmira. 42-yard drive. Automatic, through it goes, 42-yard field goal. New score, 2 seconds left before the halftime is here. Well, not the only good piece. And now listen, they got a terrific team, but
well, you and I talked about this.
They haven't lost. Thank goodness they haven't lost Tucker.
Well, they haven't lost Tucker, but the fact is they just got a field goal and they get the ball first coming out in the second half. They can make some adjustments. They can talk about what they want to do. They can ask Huntley, listen, what plays do you like? What do you think? You know, there's some time to regroup here.
Sure.
You know, you and I talked about this getting ready for this game. Just the job that John Harbaugh has done, considering the injuries at running back that he had in training camp, the injuries to Stanley, their left tackle, and Villanueva coming in, and he started at right tackle, and now he's over to left. I mean, it's just continual, the amount of injuries. And I know Cleveland's dealt with injuries. They're dealing with 3 defensive starters out today, but both sides have different with so many devastating injuries.
On the ground it goes. It'll be Janovich. Pick up right here. He got like a shortstop in baseball, and he takes it for 12, and halftime is here. And our numbers through 30 minutes of football.
Well, and the thing that jumps out to you right away is just the first downs, the total yardage. Obviously, the Browns are the 4th-ranked defense in the NFL, so holding Baltimore to that low of total, but the penalty yards have been a big factor for the Ravens as well. That set up one of their scores.
24-6 is our halftime score. But the big story right now, especially from a Ravens standpoint, the injury to Lamar Jackson.
Well, anytime you lose a former league MVP, and it didn't look pretty, the fact that he wasn't able, he tried to get up and walk it off on his own, but the fact that he had to get a cart to go to the locker room to get it checked out, that's never a good thing, Kevin, when you have to do that.
Calais Campbell's out as well. But all that being said, 2 touchdowns,
the ball for 40 yards. The fact that they've been able to put up the points they have. Defensively, they're getting after the quarterback. Offensively, they're providing some balance with a run game. And Baker Mayfield is playing outstanding. 16 of 20 in the first half.
Laughlin kicked a field goal in that first half of 43, part of the 24 points scored by the Cleveland Browns. The field goals, 1 of 50, 1 of 42 by Tucker. Here's our second half kickoff. Duvernay lets it go and back to him in the end zone. 20
adjustments they need to make offensively without Lamar. He said none. We've got Tyler Huntley out there. He has a similar skill set. We believe in him. His message to his guys was we've been down 18 before and we can come back from this. As for Kevin Stefanski, he said we had a clean offensive first half, converting 3rd downs, and defensively he said we gave up a little too much on the 2-minute drive, but guys understand the plan. We just need to execute, Kevin.
Good stuff. Yeah, no sacks allowed by the Browns. 1 penalty, 19 minutes of 30 in time of possession, all of the remaining 5 games.
Well, the teams were ready, the officials were ready, just the yard markers weren't ready, so they had to
were they getting a hot dog? Or like where were they? You've got one job.
The guy came running down the field. That's why they stopped the play. So.
And with a swerving run here is Freeman, who is met and driven backward and hit by Malcolm Smith, who today starts for the injured Anthony.
What do? We don't do anything differently. We run the same offense. Guys, they need to know what their role is and execute the way that they've been taught.
Second six pass here goes to tight end Mark Andrews, picks up 10. Hit again by Malcolm Smith, and Andrews today has been a favorite target, 4 catches and 18 yards.
And that's exactly how John Harbaugh answered our questions when we asked about all the injuries. He said, listen, guys have to prepare and get ready, and if it's your time to step up and play, then you need to step up and play. And so with Huntley and said, listen, you do that with your backup quarterback anyway going into a game, okay? If something would happen, what are the plays you're comfortable with? But I'm sure that was reinforced at halftime in terms of the plays he's more comfortable with.
Freeman on 2nd and 2, picks up 5, another first down, and he's into Cleveland territory at the 48.
Kevin, in the first half, we talked about how the Browns came out what seemed like more energy and more sense of urgency to start the game off. Right here in the second half, though, I got to give it to the Ravens. They're coming out with a purpose and able to put some couple first downs together.
Murray was in. Here's a throw. Andrews again holding on for dear life is ill. They can't bring him down. Look at him. Wow, he's a beast. Taking him on his back, picking up 32 on the play. Talk about proud players. Andrews one of them, and put him down to the 17 of the Browns.
Well, and that's where you can't relax if you're the Browns. Yes, you have a comfortable lead at halftime, but this is a determined team. This is a team in the Baltimore Ravens that their head coaches sent a message that we're not changing anything. We're just going to continue to attack, and they've come out here in this first drive and moved it right down the field.
First down and 10. And grabbed by Bateman. It was indeed. Ward was there. Gain of 5 and to the 12.
Well, Bateman missed the first part of the season with groin surgery and was on IR.
Yeah, sports hernia, and he is hobbling off here. They just targeted him one time last week in the Pittsburgh game. Today, he's got a couple catches and a total of 24, and they're looking at his neck, as you can see. 2nd and 5, opening drive of the second half. And with a lot of gusto, the Ravens have come out. Brown on the move, Huntley to the air. Good block by Villanueva. Nifty move right there by the quarterback. And from that's a fumble on the play. The Browns have gotten it. Vacuumed in. Odenabo gets the ball on a big-time hit and stops the Baltimore drive in their tracks, and a late flag was thrown.
Well, it was McKinley that came from behind. Watch 55 here as he comes in.
You're right.
Huntley was worried about what was in front of him, not realizing McKinley was bearing down on him from behind, and Odenabo gets that ball.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the fumbling team, number 33. 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the recovery. First down, Cleveland.
And that's running back Devontae Freeman, called right there. Frustrating, sure.
Well, I don't know if he thought he was down. Watch the fumble recovery happens, and Freeman doesn't think.
By McKinley. Odenabo recovers.
It's the Sparkle and Shine sale. Get 30% off everything. This is how we shine. At Sales, the Diamond Store.
Huntley just fumbled. Big hit by McKinley. Flag thrown after the play. Almost simultaneously as the whistle was being blown, the penalty was committed. We'll show you in just a second. Second fumble takeaway by the Browns today. Chubb in the backfield, 28, 1st and 10. Mayfield. Tonio a block, short pass incomplete, looking for Chubb. And all over him that time. He had a couple linebackers, 2nd and 10. Let's watch it again, the fumble that McKinley jarred free.
And listen for the whistle.
Yeah, there was probably a second, right? Whistle to hit.
Well, and that's where, you know, we talked about going to commercial. It didn't look like to me like he had been touched. And so Devontae Freeman didn't see him touched, but there clearly was a whistle stopping the play before Freeman hit him.
180.
Second down and 10. Janovich will lead the way. Here comes Chubb. Kyle driving his way out near the 33. Brandon Williams among a couple there to bring him down after a gain of 5.
Well, and the Browns just have to settle down a little bit offensively after seeing what the Ravens were doing offensively. Just come out and it's going to be a big task here. You know, the first half, they were 50% on third down conversions. Coming into this game, the Ravens are the #1 defense in the NFL on third down defense. But the Browns having a lot of success on third down so far today.
3rd and 5, new running back to Ernest Johnson. Landry.
Roger. Black 80.
Mayfield through the air, 16-21. Messy pocket. Here he goes. He's got the first down. Helmet first near the 39. Picks up 6 on 3rd and 5, Trent.
Well, one of the few times you're not going to see the Ravens bring extra pressure. They're with 7 defenders covering his 4 receivers. He finds a lane inside, and to the respect of all of his teammates, instead of sliding feet first and being short of the sticks, he goes head first and picks up the first down.
Second time on 3rd down, he has run for a first down. 1st and 10.
180.
Chubb back in. Antonio blocking, he cuts inside, and he was waylaid by Owe just to finish up after the gain of 3, and he's out to the 42. Just to finish up that fumble and giveaway by Baltimore. Second fumble today. It's a takeaway by the Browns. The Ravens hadn't turned the ball over a lot on fumbles, but the Browns had only 3 fumble recoveries all season coming into this afternoon.
Well, both those fumbles by Huntley, one resulting in a Myles Garrett touchdown.
Which was huge. 2nd and 7. They got pressure now. Justin Ellis, incomplete. Hooper was in the vicinity in the coverage by Bowser. And all kinds of pressure exhibited by the driving defensive lineman Justin Ellis.
Well, based on the velocity of that ball, I think he was going for Landry, who was further up the field. Because that was way too much heat if he was trying to get that ball to Hooper that close to him.
Ravens, by the way, have a -8
John Wright
turnover ratio this year.
Hey, Roger,
Now.
Roger it. Never mind, we're in. Roger.
3rd down 7. Drills the block, screen pass, Johnson. And they get him with some nice pursuit as he was chased down by Owe. A gain of 7 on 3rd and 7. That's a first down to the
Browns have 2 linemen out in front and only 1 defender to take care of before they're able to get the first down. They've tried setting that up a couple times today, and that's the first time they've had success with it.
Pass defense for the Ravens today coming in 27th in efficiency, 31st in yards allowed. 1st and 10. Chubb, nice block by Janovich. Oh, look at him. He's screaming his way. Averts 1 tackler, and he gains 4 when maybe he should have gained about a yard, and he's at about the 47 of the Ravens.
Well, and Chubb is so good against yards after contact, and we're going to take a look at some of the numbers that he had early in the season than what he had against Baltimore last game for Cleveland, but 2 weeks ago. Chubb coming into this game is 2nd in the NFL in yards after contact, even though he's missed 3 games this season.
Hence the extra lineman.
Hey.
180.
2nd down, 6th, 8th play of the drive. And blocked by Hooper from behind. That's a loose ball. And vacuumed in about the 44 by Chubb. If it indeed was a throw, was the ball coughed up? Was it a fumble? It's a fumble, they're saying, on the field, and advanced with a sack right there. And a good grab by Washington. His arm looked like it may have been going in that direction. What do you think, Trent?
Yeah, initially I thought it was a fumble. I thought it was very similar to what happened to Huntley, but you can see it looks like Mayfield's arm is coming forward with the ball still in his hand. So if they wanted to challenge this.
Quick turbo, quick turbo.
They are.
But they may.
Baltimore's going to challenge.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble forward. Timeout.
You were going to say?
I was going to say that Cleveland should get the ball snapped because they gained yards on the fumble.
Let's step aside with the review.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Lowe's, official home improvement sponsor of the NFL. Voya Financial, be confident to and through retirement. And by State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Hope Memorial Bridge here in Cleveland has 4 Guardians of Traffic statues, inspiration for the new nickname of the Major League Baseball team. Dawning coming up. Well, while we were away,
After
Baker
review,
Mayfield.
It's an incomplete pass. Game clock operator, please put 8 minutes and 14 seconds on the game clock, please. 8 minutes and 14 seconds. The ball will be returned to the 47.5-yard line. It's 3rd down. Baltimore has not charged the timeout, and they have a successful challenge.
Baker Mayfield was slow to get up on that last play, went quickly into the tent at the urging of his coach, and now they've got Case Keenum coming in. Washington with the hit on what they've called an incompletion.
And we don't know if it was a team-driven thing or a league-driven thing, because you have someone in the press box that notices those things. So he was taken off the field, not happy about it, but Case Keenum here on the 3rd down.
Keenum with the handoff, and it goes here to Johnson. Ernest Johnson wheels his way for 11 on 3rd and 6, down to the Raven 36-yard line flag.
Holding. Offense. Number 77. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Wyatt Teller.
3rd down.
Well, as we were saying before, not sure if he was pulled off by the league or pulled off by his own team, but Baker Mayfield wasn't happy about it as he had to go into the tent and get evaluated. Case Keenum coming in, getting that handoff there. Teller getting called for the holding, so instead of 1st down for the Browns down inside the 40, now they have 3rd and long.
It's a spot foul, so it's 3rd and 13. Case Keenum, 9 years out of Houston.
Yeah.
Ernest Johnson, Teller a block, by midfield, and then a gang tackle with Bowser and his buddies, and down to about the 46 and a gain of 8. Baker back out there looking spry and ready to go. It's 4th down though, so we'll have to wait. And the punting unit back out there for the Cleveland Browns.
And he's still not happy about it. Case Keenum handed off. It was the same exact play. Same exact play that just converted the 1st down but got called back on a hold play, so they went back to it. This is obviously their new punter, Dustin Colquitt. Last time he was in this position, pinned him down inside the 10.
There's Dad, Craig, with Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl teams of the 70s. Brother Britton punted here from 16 to 19. Cut by Atlanta this week if you're just joining us. In the sun, got the bounce to the 1. What a punt. How about Dustin Colquitt? Off the street, flag thrown.
Yeah, they're going to call it back. Incredible punt and great coverage by the Browns to get that down to inside the 1, but John Harbaugh is going to make them do it all over again.
Dustin Colquitt is a 2-time Pro Bowler.
Holding. Kicking team number 47. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Hewlett.
Replay 4th down.
That's the long snapper, Charlie Hewlett. So he'll be called. Colquitt, who punted for that Super Bowl champion Kansas City team back in the 2019 season. He's got 5 kids, ages 8 to 15. And he was home.
He's got his hands full.
He was
yes,
home. He was home. And
well, I should say his wife. She has her hands full.
Well
yes,
said.
right.
Yeah, Trent, that's very good.
Right. He's probably here, since he just signed this week. I'm sure the family's not here. He just came up and He's working. That's exactly.
Yes, he's working.
That's
He's on a business trip.
That's right.
Regular punter Gillen has got a COVID issue. Beautiful. Fair catch signaled for and allotted at the 16. So they lose 15 yards. Would have been a 1. It's at the 16. 39-yard punt. Huntley on deck. Nope. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Goodyear. Well, Trent, I don't want to think of a world without blimps.
I told you earlier in the season when you were talking about your affinity for blimps, we got to set it up so you can get a ride in.
Oh, I'd love to go. 1st and 10. It's Freeman running outside and jumping on his back. Greedy Williams rode him down. Mel at the 17 and no gain.
Guys, an update on Baker Mayfield. Trent, you called it. The NFL's independent spotter called down after seeing Baker slowly get up after that hit. You could see him picking grass chunks out of his face mask. So he had to go through concussion protocol, much to his dismay, as we saw. But I'm told he cleared. He's good to return to the game the next time the offense is back on the field.
So Melanie, all that screaming and yelling he was doing at his own trainers and doctors was because the NFL made him come off the field.
That's exactly right, Trent.
He'll just have to apologize later.
2nd and 10. Oh, look at these nifty moves here by the quarterback, Huntley, who deceptively goes for 11. And he's out to the 28 and a first down for the Ravens. Huntley started week 11 against the Chicago Bears, and the Ravens won 16-13. 1st and 10, low and uncatchable for Duvernay. And Hill was defending.
Well, considering most of the week, all the reps are going to Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
And Huntley's come in, and I think he's done a good job. He's 9 of 11, 91 yards. He seems in control of the offense. He doesn't look overwhelmed. He's just got to protect the football better. You know, the sack fumble by Garrett, and then, of course, running in the open field, you never think 3. A guy's going to tackle you from behind, and that's what happened on the last possession and caused that turnover.
2nd down 10. They had him. He escaped. Flag. It's dead. Usu Koromoa, Garrett.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Villanueva.
Well, this is the perfect time to get into the conversation we had with Alejandro yesterday about, I said, give us a comparison. You blocked against both of these guys, Clowney and Myles Garrett. He said, Myles Garrett is such a unique athlete because of his size, his speed, all the things he can do, but he has unusual ankle bend. And he started getting into the details of his ankle bend and the angles that he could take. And
he said it was weirdly
He said it's weird.
angled.
He said you look at him on tape and it's like, how could a guy that big, you know, bend his ankles the way he does and get as low as he does? And just had a lot of great things to say about Myles Garrett and all the times they've faced each other.
Back at the 18, 2nd and 20. He'll dart. Clowney is on him. Another missed tackle. Oh, doing his best, Jackson. Look at him go upfield. Lickety split to the 32 as he was trickling up, and a late flag thrown, trickled up past the 30 and got 13. That was a sick run, man. Oh, my goodness.
Personal foul. Late hit, defense number 30.
That's
15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That's one of the best 14-yard runs you'll see.
Oh, that was fun.
Ever.
Correction, number 50.
Jacob Phillips.
I was tired for him.
Yeah.
As much back and forth as he was doing. First, he made Garrett miss. He slid that way. Then he steps up in the pocket, makes him miss again. And then he's got Clowney out in space. Nope, you're not going to get me. Then he breaks ankles coming back that way.
Oh, my. Just stopping on a dime. Yeah, breaking ankles. We saw another guy do that in Ohio a couple of years ago. Or number 8, 1st and 10. Here's a handoff. Freeman. Block by a couple, including Brown and Andrews. And he runs out of bounds, but not before he reaches the 33. It's a gain of 21 in Baltimore, showing some offensive life here in the second half.
Well, and I've got to admit, when John Harbaugh came out in the second half and he talked to Melanie about, listen, Huntley does the same types of things. We're going to stick with our game plan. We're going to stick with everything that we've done because Huntley's going to be a very similar type of quarterback. Well, you're talking about a league MVP. You're talking about a guy that's got different speeds, different gears, and maybe Huntley doesn't have the straight ahead speed that Lamar Jackson has, but he obviously has shown the elusiveness that Lamar Jackson has.
Latavius Murray was in. Huntley, there's a block over there by Phillips, avoiding pressure downfield and dropped by Andrews right at that marker at the 23.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Phillips on that one.
Yep.
Holding. Offense. Number 74. 10-yard penalty. First down.
He struggled versus the Steelers last week. He has been starting at guard and at right tackle.
Well, McCarry's out for this game, and so this time going up against Kenley, gets that arm right up around the neck. And then when you see McKinley get his body turned the way he did, the official had no choice but to throw that flag.
Phillips is starting 4 games this season, 1 at left guard, 3rd start today at right tackle. 1st and 20, and did Bateman catch that ball? Flag, it's incomplete.
The way Ward's pointing, it's going to be
Pass
offensive.
interference. Offense. Number 12. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Bateman. The rookie, a first-round pick out of Minnesota. Ward was over there and couldn't lasso that pass. Now it is 1st and Columbus. 1st and 30.
Well, this is where you got to be smart if you're Huntley. You got to just can't try and force anything. And yes, you want to get it, but I wouldn't be surprised they just have a screen or something like that called here to not put too much pressure on him trying to squeeze it downfield.
1st and 30. McKinley is on him. There goes Huntley again, hitting the deck about the 48-yard line. Football, a gain of 5 right there. Football's iconic show inside the NFL, streaming Tuesdays, 9:30 on Paramount Plus. Under 4 o'clock ticking here in the 3rd.
Well, I wasn't the only one thinking screen because the entire Browns defense moved over to the outside as the Ravens tried to set up a screen outside left, and it looks like Huntley was able to get some positive yards instead of trying to squeeze it.
Freeman back there, 2nd and 25 in the draw play. Ante Freeman, he's changing gears, and John Johnson trips him up after a gain of 2. Down to about the 46. Well, I want to wish a very good friend of the NFL, but in particular CBS, Howard Katz, a very warm hello, and recovering from surgery that he had not too long ago. And just want to tell you, Howard, we're thinking of you and your family, wishing you well. You've been a great friend to CBS Sports. I'll see you back here soon. 3rd and 23. Underneath it goes Andrews. There was a block over there from Duvernay with a tackle made by Stewart and others. Gain of 8. Ball is about the 37.
Well, no hesitation by Baltimore as they bring Justin Tucker out
Sure.
to what appears to be a attempt at a field goal.
55 yards. He's kicked one from 50, from 42. He's from 55. Wind is staying strong. Temperature at about 45. Wind at about 16, 17 miles an hour in the face of Tucker. Automatic again, 55-yard field goal, and that continues to be the way the Ravens, in first place in the North, are scoring today. Lamar Jackson is injured, Calais Campbell is injured, and they're down 24-9. FirstEnergy Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. 24-9. Mayfield a couple touchdown passes. A fumble return for a touchdown by Myles Garrett. Lamar Jackson's been knocked out of the game, and Still no word. It was an ankle issue. This is over the head of JoJo Natson. Touchback to the 25. Calais Campbell is out. Now, Mayfield's coming back out. He was taken out by the press box. Here is the play, and again, its entirety.
You can see he gets slammed to the ground, his face first, all the grass that's in his helmet.
Little kick by Broderick Washington. And he's ticked off. It was not, he said, I'm fine. Grass in the face mask should not be a reason to take me out of this game.
But I don't think those were pleasantries he was telling the team trainer.
I don't think he was thinking he was mad Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma. 1st and 10 from the 25. Chubb back there. Good time and a throw right on the screws. Caught by Peoples-Jones, brought down by Westry. Picks up 13, first down to the 38.
And Bowser thought he was going to get a hand on this. The slant comes right behind to Peoples-Jones. Watch 54, reaches out with that left hand. He thinks, I'm right in position to knock this ball down. Much needed first down for the Browns as Cleveland has, or as Baltimore has sneaked their way back into this 2-possession game.
Yes, they have.
The Browns need to get something going here offensively to change the momentum a little bit.
Peoples-Jones, 4 catches, 86 yards. Chubb back there, getting the call. 1st and 10, bouncing outside. And he takes it into the secondary and brought down by Owe, who is chasing from the line. Weaving his way for 11, Mel, on a first down.
Well, Kevin Lamar Jackson officially ruled out of this game, and I thought our conversation with John Harbaugh last night was so interesting. He said, I reminded the guys of a day back in August after the 2 running backs went down. He said, every player in this room is capable of playing in the NFL and winning this division. We have such a deep roster. He said, we've got everything we need here with all this talent. Now we just have to take care of business. He has the utmost confidence in the depth of his team.
And his front office to get quality players. Next man up. 1st and 10. Chubb. There was one block right there by Treader. Then they converge, and he's down. Bynes, Bowser, gain of a yard. Today, Chubb, 51 yards, Trent on 12 carries.
Well, and just a few days ago, 8 carries for 16 yards. So much better effort by the guys up front, and Nick Chubb making guys miss and getting those extra yards.
Browns are 6-6, coming off a bye, number 11 in the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens are 8-4, number 3 in the AFC, leaders in the North, but it is congestion, and it is going to be topsy-turvy all the way to Week 18. This just a sample. These two teams played a couple weeks ago. The rematch today. Let's go to the 4th with Cleveland on top, 24-9. With Trent Green and Melanie Collins, Kevin Harlan, we're in Cleveland. Battle in the AFC North. Big day for the Browns. They needed to show up, coming off a bye, and they have so far against the depleted Ravens. 2nd down and 9. Mayfield in the first play of the 4th quarter. Look at the time, and a great pinpoint throw. It's caught by Landry. And he works on the defensive back, Tavon Young. Landry picks up 17 to the 33 of Baltimore.
Well, and this is all due to the pass protection, the amount of time. Watch the double move. He gives him a little stutter, gets upfield, and then comes back on the comeback. And just no way Young has, with that much time in the pocket for Baker Mayfield, just pitch and catch at that point.
Mayfield today, 19 to 26, 180, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Averett made it. Inverted horseshoe. 1st and 10. Chubb coming into his own blocker there, Treader, and grinds his way for a couple into the 31. Baltimore has lost their quarterback, their best defensive lineman. They came in, as we've talked about, having lost 3 of their top 4 players in the secondary. Marlon Humphrey went out. Mel told us about that to begin our broadcast. The former All-Pro. Marcus Peters, of course, before that.
Well, defensive coordinator Wink Martindale this week, I was going through all the different injuries. He said, don't forget Derek Wolfe. He goes,
yes,
that was a big miss for us on that defensive line.
Well said, Trent. 2nd and 8. Chubb outside. Janovich with a nice sealing block, and he stiff arms his way into Westry. Close to a first. Picks up 7. Trent put him at the 24.
It's interesting. I know it's still early here in the fourth quarter, but do you start thinking in the mindset of staying in bounds to keep things moving? I know the clock is running now, but it stops there for a short time when you go out of bounds. And the other thing, instead of lunging to get the first down, he stepped out of bounds just shy of the sticks.
Cleveland's without a lot of players today. 3 of their top 4 tight ends are out. Njoku, who heads the receiving list, is out. Kovic, 3rd and 1. Baker will take it himself, being shoved. And looks like he may have the first, trying to get inside that 23. Jamie Gillen is out, the punter. He is on the COVID list. Conklin is out, their right tackle. I mean, they're missing a lot of guys as well. I mean, every team is flawed, and every team is losing players.
Every team is missing guys at this juncture of the season. It's just, you talk about the players the Browns are missing today. We've talked about the players the Ravens have missed all season. We mentioned earlier about the Titans, the number of players they've had injured. And all the coaches say the same thing. Listen, we coach everybody up. If it's your time to step in, you need to step in and be prepared to go.
Chubb on 1st and 10. Dancing by 1. Heading back against the grain, trying to explode. Nothing there. Stopped in his tracks. 2nd and 10. So here, they lost Dobbins and Edwards right off the bat. Stanley played 1 game. All-Pro player. Wolf, you mentioned him. Elliott in the secondary gone. Peters All-Pro. Humphrey, former All-Pro. Fort. My goodness, he's a player that can contribute in so many ways to the defense.
Well, and I know we've said a lot about the coaches and the job that they've done getting guys prepared, but you also, that goes over to the personnel staffs. Eric DeCosta of the Ravens and Andrew Berry of the Browns. It's getting the depth necessary. So when things like this happen, you have guys that can step in and still get the job done.
2nd and 10. Good time and going for Peoples-Jones. Beautiful knock away that time by Chris Westry. He's at 6'4", an undrafted player, so he's a very tall cornerback and playing with a thigh injury. 2nd start of the season today. But a nice play here against Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, he got called for a penalty earlier in the game.
He did.
That I don't necessarily think was a penalty, and he's in good position here and locates the ball and is able to knock it away.
Actually got caught for 2 PIs. 1 accepted, 3rd and 10.
Short, you're giant.
Got away that time from Bowser. Out of the reach of Landry. Averett was right on his tail. So they'll try for 3, and the defense of Baltimore does their job. 4th down. The wind, and I only know this because I'm looking down, and of course we're up here, we can't gauge it as well, but I'm seeing things flutter down from the upper decks, and they're just gently floating. So we look at the top of the goalpost, the telltales are just barely moving. So the wind has died. It began at 17 and stayed that way through most of the first half. 41-yard field goal here by McLaughlin. And he hit the upright. That ties the shortest miss of his career. So they lose 3 right there they could have had in a timeout in Cleveland. Follow the Dutton family west in the new epic Paramount Plus original series 1883, a Yellowstone origin story. Starring Academy Award nominee Sam Elliott, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. They're married, in case you didn't know. 1883 streaming December 19th exclusively on Paramount Plus. And look at that crazy sailor. What do they call it? Keeling? You know what? I don't know enough about it. Here's a 1st and 10 after the missed field goal by the Browns of 41. And a meager gain of 2 by the workhorse today, Devontae Freeman, who has just carried for a 12th time and 63 yards. Garrett was there. Jackson is injured and out. Calais Campbell injured and out.
Kevin, going back to that missed field goal, what a huge opportunity for the Browns. It could have made it a 3-possession game, but now all of a sudden with that miss, it's still just a 15-point game. And
outside Huntley goes to his running back, and that's Freeman, and not letting go Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He is the rookie out of Notre Dame, the #1 rated rookie In pro football right now, the analytics tell you that they lose 3 to the 29.
Owusu Koromoa, just his ability, his speed, first off, we've talked about multiple times today, but his speed, his closing ability, the way that he's able to your tackles for loss, the numbers that he's put up this season has been phenomenal, setting up this 3rd and long for Baltimore.
Oh, he's a good player and fun to watch. He was a Wildcat quarterback in high school in the state of Virginia. 3rd and 11. Huntley pressured, got the block, buys the time, throws the pass, and with John Johnson defending, that might have been some kind of grab. And he was looking for Duvernay, and they call it an incompletion, which brings up 4th and 5. Duvernay got the ball, but you can see, no, then he dropped it. We couldn't see. We're up so high, and where the sideline blocked our view.
Well, and Huntley did a tremendous job spinning out and making McKinley miss as the Browns came on a blitz.
4th and 11, and they got Andrews, who's got the 1st down. How about that? Right at the feet of Delpit. 13-yard pickup on 4th and 11. Baltimore still breathing, and they get the 1st down.
Well, that was an easy, well, it should have been easy pitch and catch because nobody was covering Andrews at all. As he comes up with another catch, sliding low.
That was on 1st and 10. Flag thrown. He got down to the 37. Flag across the way. On the far sideline.
Offside, defense, number 95. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down.
There's Myles Garrett, guilty on that time. He set the new Browns sack record earlier in the game and scored a touchdown. It's a 20-yard advancement to the 37. Huntley is 13 of 17, 129. Against the Bears, week 11 in a start. 26 for 36, 219. He's been impressive. 1st and 10. And looking for Bateman, who just took that ball away and then just took it down to the 1.
Well, Greedy Williams immediately went to a knee and looked at the official and thought it was offensive pass interference. And now he's over talking to the official. Let's see where Bateman comes back for the ball.
John Johnson got him. Williams was beat. Bateman good for 36. 1st and goal, and Murray in the backfield. It's Latavius Murray. He'll ramrod his way across for a touchdown. We said it was a 2-score game and a touchdown by the depleted Ravens. Flag thrown. Player down.
Well, it's going to be 12 people on the field for the Browns.
Yep.
That's what the penalty will be.
McDowell gets up, and that's a good sign. He was slow to get up. Murray gets the touchdown plunge.
12 players, defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Murray scores for a 5th time on a rushing touchdown.
There's already 11 on the field. Here comes the 12th.
Key play on that drive. They converted 4th and 11 to the tight end Andrews, and they're going for 2. Tyler Huntley. Walkers. The toss intercepted. And picked off right there by Delpit. So it stays 24-15, and the 2-point try foiled. But they get a touchdown. A long pass to Bateman sets up Murray from a yard away. And the Ravens are back in business.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. Discover exceptionally common sense. And by Macy's. Give, love, believe.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just across the parking lot. Among the newest members, just inducted Tina Turner, Carole King, Jay-Z, and the Foo Fighters. There's some fight in this Baltimore team.
Well, there definitely is. And here's a short kick, trying to catch him.
That's Janovich to the 31. All right, Saturday, our college hoop season full swing on CBS. Afternoon triple-header. Texas Tech taking on number 5 Gonzaga. Then 4 iconic schools compete in the CBS Sports Classic. Beginning with North Carolina and 4th-ranked UCLA. Then number 10 Kentucky clashing with number 21 Ohio State. Gets set for the tip-off. 12:30 inside college basketball. Saturday on CBS. Your home for the NCAA tournament.
Kevin, you just said the Ravens have some fight in them. I tell you what, the first half couldn't have gone any better for the Cleveland Browns. And so far here in the second half, though, it's been dominated, especially on the defensive side for the Baltimore Ravens. Browns need to get something going here.
Screen pass to Chubb on 1st and 10. Read well and hammered down that time by the sure footing of Westry in the secondary. Gain of 3.
And going back to the 2-point conversion attempt by the Ravens, some people are questioning or would think to question, why go for it there? Don't wait until the next touchdown before you go. I tell you what, the analytics has changed a lot. So you start looking at percentages and numbers, and as the game goes along, a lot of coaches are weighing in more and more on going for 2 earlier in the game as opposed to waiting and needing it on that final play.
180.
Second down and 7. Chubb back there with Janovich, who gets the call with a little pass and read well by Chuck Clark. Outside he goes, got to the 37, picks up 3. Trent. Each team with 3 timeouts.
Well, they're stop and play here.
Yeah, there's a player that was injured, and it was Westry. Let's go to New York in our CBS studios. James Brown and the coach.
Our late window featuring excellent matchups. Kevin, Buffalo at Tampa Bay, Bill.
There's Tampa Bay's Tom Brady going against the #1 defense, the Buffalo Bills, and Josh Allen. He's going to have a little better weather than he had last week down in Tampa. See him get that passing game going.
Others will see San Francisco at Cincinnati. But let's take you back to Kevin Harlan.
Thank you, James and Coach. Yeah, those were blustery conditions, and New England came out with the win on Monday night in Orchard Park.
Hey, we're going to 5-7.
3rd down 4. They empty the backfield for Mayfield, who's got time, and now being chased in the drop pass, and the pressure was applied by Tyus Bowser. Bowser blew up the play. It's 4th down. Here comes the punting unit for Cleveland. And momentum switching to the Ravens.
Well, it definitely has. Mayfield only had 3 incompletions in the first half, and now he's struggling to find receivers downfield. Good coverage by Baltimore. They have not sacked him on the day. Give credit to the run game and to the offensive line of the Browns, and obviously the mobility that Baker Mayfield has been able to show. But right now, the Ravens defense has been dialed in here in the second half, preventing the Browns from anything.
It's Colquitt to punt. Dustin Colquitt to punt. Landing in front of Duvernay and out of bounds. The Browns only took 1.5 minutes off the clock. Not what they had planned. 7:20 left. Baltimore's got it. 3 teams have been in sole possession of the top seed. The Ravens, Tennessee, and the Patriots. 12 teams have a record of 500 or better. And each team in the AFC has at least 4 losses. First time that's happened in about, since 2002. It's close, and it's going to be really close down the stretch.
Well, and that's what makes it exciting. Obviously, the AFC North is one of the 2 divisions that had everybody 500 or better, and Cleveland needing this win came out on fire. Baltimore dealing with a bunch of injuries, just like many teams around the league, but trying to find a way to get back in it without Lamar Jackson.
Huntley with a couple fakes. Great time. No rush. Here comes Clowney. There goes the ball out of bounds, incomplete. Good coverage downfield by the Browns secondary. 2nd down and 10. Tyler Huntley could find no one.
We'll take a look at some of the receivers down the field, and just there's no separation or window for Huntley to get it into. Cleveland only rushes 4. leaving 7 to drop back in coverage and nowhere for Huntley to go with the football. And eventually Clowney came loose and pressured Huntley into throwing it away.
Total yards and first downs tell the story of the second half. Second down and 10. Going away with the block and batted down that time right in front. It looked like Sheldon Day got his big mitts on that ball and swats it away. Incomplete. 3rd and 10 for the Ravens.
Well, and it's not the position you want to be in. The Ravens are 1 for 8 on 3rd down. Tremendous job by the Cleveland Browns defense today, getting them off the field. You got to remember on the last possession, though, the Browns went for it on 4th down in their own territory. Considering they're down 2 scores here, man, I just have a hard time thinking they're going to go for it on 4th down in their own territory. See what happens here on 3rd.
3rd down and 10. Oh, they're bringing pressure with Tack McKinley. He throws it away, and McKinley blew up that play. Tack has had a good game. 9 games played and back from injury and showing every bit the first-round pick that he was. 5 years out of UCLA, and here comes the punting unit for Baltimore.
Yeah, I just don't think, I mean, this far down in your own end, I have a hard time. Looks like I'm going to get him for intentional grounding.
Yep. Number 2. Ball's placed at the spot of the foul. Lost it down, 4th down.
Pushing him back even more. Gene, what'd you see on that plane as we have Gene Steratore joining us?
It's a perfect example of the officials all communicating because the quarterback is still in the pocket. He is under pressure. And when you're throwing a ball to the sideline like that, you want to give the offense a benefit of a doubt if a receiver's close. But we can clearly see that that ball, guys, is uncatchable. So a good job all the way around and intentional grounding.
Gene, thank you. Sam Cook is going to punt. Wind, we understand, is picked up here a little bit. And Cook gets it away. It's short. Natson from the 48 broke 2 tackles, and then he works his way with a corkscrew move near the 46. And a 5-yard return, 44-yard punt, 4.28 on the hang, and some jawing after the play.
And Kevin, that was a much-needed series by the Browns defense, stepping up when they needed them most. Great response because the Ravens had been moving the football and obviously had gone down and got some points on the last possession. So very timely effort by the Browns. Kevin Stefanski.
Stay tuned for the NFL Today update after this game from our CBS studios with JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher. Time permitting, the scores, news, and highlights.
Well, that's always the difficult thing to do when you're trying to balance as a coach. It's 24-6 at halftime. You're dominating the football game. Offensively, you want to keep the clock moving. Defensively, you want to get them off the field, and so it's trying to find that balancing act, using up time, but also trying to get points in the meantime.
Extra lineman hands in. 46 of Baltimore, 1st and 10. Chubb. Teller a block, going the other way. No place to run or hide. Adebike was there. He devoured him, and a loss of 2, Mel.
Kevin, Ravens corner Chris Westry has an injury to his right pinky. The athletic trainers taped it up down here on the bench. He is back out there in the game, and thank goodness with no Jimmy Smith and no Marlon Humphrey, they can't afford to lose another corner.
Right, in fact, he just jumped off as you were talking off the field. Kevon Seymour taking his place. 2nd down, 12. They had to put that finger back in, and it did not look fun. Mayfield, Chubb, Teller pulls, and the Ravens right there, led by Bynes, limiting him to a gain of 1 near the 47. Timeout. Ravens take their first. Ravens lead the AFC North. Lost to Pittsburgh last week. Hoping to rebound today, and they had, in 3 previous losses, they had wins. But they're struggling to find traction here now after showing a pretty good 3rd quarter hand, closing in on a playoff berth, but losing valuable players along the way. And today, case in point, Calais Campbell on the defensive line, and Lamar Jackson with an ankle injury, the severity of which we do not know, but he has been ruled out. Cleveland, feeling is has to win 4 of 5 to get back in the conversation. 3rd and 11. Jackson in the backfield. And the throw here caught by Peoples-Jones, and a nice job done by Seymour. Held him out of getting the first down. They needed the 36. He got as far as the 41 and picks up 6. So now 4th down.
Yeah, you have to punt here. I know there's some hesitation over there, but you're playing the field position game and the time game right now. That's believe me, this is kind of an awkward spot of the field. You could try a 60, 61-yard field goal, but there's no need for it with a 2-possession lead. You've got a punter that's excellent throughout his career at pinning teams down inside the 10.
And for our audience just joining us, it's 4th and 5 for the Cleveland Browns, who have gotten 2 first-half touchdown passes by Baker Mayfield. Here is 39-year-old punter, signed this week, Dustin Colquitt, who lands it at the 5 and then hit the defensive back, and a flag has been thrown. Hit the defensive back, A.J. Green, in the face mask, a 43-yarder, well placed. But the flag with 5:26 to play in the 4th. Colquitt, by the way, signed off the street after let go by Atlanta over the weekend, has had a marvelous afternoon.
During the kick, holding, return team number 17. Since the ball was a touchback, the enforcement will be from the 20-yard line, half the distance to the goal, or 10 yards to the goal. It'll be first down on the 10.
Robert Jackson is the one who picked it up. Just brought off the practice squad and the COVID list today. All right, earlier on today, Lamar Jackson with the injury.
Owusu Koromoa is in pursuit, and he dives to make the tackle and lands on both the heels of both feet, and it ends up going to the blue tent. Lamar does. He gets help off the field. He tried walking it off, but needed help to get to the blue tent, and then ultimately had to be carted to the locker room. And we've had Huntley ever since.
And Huntley is an undrafted quarterback out of Utah. First season, started earlier for the injured Lamar Jackson, actually in COVID protocol. Here's a pass outside. Good catch by Hollywood Brown, and goes out of bounds. Marquise Brown gets that ball with one hand, goes to the 22, picks up 12 in the play, and a flag thrown back at the 8.
Yeah, they had Garrett on the jumping offside, so it was a free play for Huntley.
Offside. Defense, number 95. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Myles Garrett is at the Browns' record in sacks earlier today for a career. Jackson leaving the game in the second quarter. Huntley has come in and looked good, but he's fumbled twice. Mayfield bouncing back. Browns are coming off a bye. Ravens lost by 1 last week to Pittsburgh. 1st and 10. And here they go to the running back, and that's Devontae Freeman. Runs out of bounds just beyond the 25 and picks up 4 on the play. The clock at 5:07. The Ravens with 2 timeouts.
Well, they've had some success with this up-tempo. Is there a question as to where the ball is going to be spotted? They had to move him back.
Ravens are first place in the AFC North. 2nd down 6 underneath here. And it's caught by the receiver, Duvernay. Brought down by Troy Hill. Got to the 36, and Trent picks up 11.
Well, right now it looks like the Browns are going to leave some gaps and windows in the middle of the field, trying to keep the Ravens inbounds, keep the clock moving. That time Duvernay taking advantage of it and picking up the first down.
1st and 10 for Tyler Huntley. Underneath again with a nice tackle here by Jacob Phillips. It's Freeman for 2. Phillips has been injured since the preseason. Tore his bicep in a joint camp practice against the Giants. Elevated today for the first time in the regular year. It's 2nd down and 8. Going away to the block at the left tackle, and he goes underneath to the 43, 44-yard line, where it was caught.
Well, I think the
Josh Oliver
and Kevin, I think the Browns are content with letting them get 2, 3, 5, 7-yard completions over the middle, get tackled, and keep the clock moving. Baltimore down to 2 timeouts as they used one up earlier in this quarter.
3rd down 2. Tyler Huntley, Devontae Freeman, and stopped behind the line. Got about a yard, I guess, as he leans ahead and hit by Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney makes the stop at the 30, make it 45. And now it's 4th and 1, and they leave the offense out there and bring in Latavius Murray. And the clock is ticking. These two teams played 3 weeks ago. And Baltimore won 16-10, 4th and 1. And Huntley gets it off to Andrews, who leans ahead. Looks like he's got the first down. Delpit was over there defending. Give him a gain of a yard just by the thinnest margins. He gets it outside the 46.
Well, this ball is completed short of the first down, and Andrews is able to lean and get the ball across the marker to pick up the first down.
1st and 10, and underneath again. And this time it goes to the rookie Bateman, who picks up 5 up the middle, and he's down to the 48-yard line of Cleveland. 2nd down and 5. With Mayfield watching today, he's gone 22 of 32 for 190. 2nd down 5. Outside Bateman again. Wrestled down on the play by Greedy Williams, taking the place of the injured starter, Greg Newsome, who's concussed. A gain of 6. They go to the 42. Baltimore, when they scored the last time, did not convert a 2-point conversion. 1st and 10. 2nd down.
Well, that's a big question. Had they kicked the extra point, it would be an 8-point game,
yes,
which would be a 1 possession game. You could go down and score and have the potential to tie it. A lot of coaches have worked the analytics, and a lot have talked about, okay, if we get the 2-point early on, then it gives us other options once we get down there to either go for the tie or go for the win at that point in time to take the lead.
And remember, Cleveland missed a field goal, 41 in the second half. 2nd down 10. Murray back there. Huntley being pressured, going deep. Oh, he's got Brown, but he overshoots him by a yard. Brown had broken free. He shook the defense of Greedy Williams, and he was gone. The pass just that close. The 2-minute warning in Cleveland on CBS. Ravens have chiseled their way back in the absence of their injured quarterback, Lamar Jackson, with the undrafted Tyler Huntley. They have a big 3rd and 10 right here at the Cleveland 42. First place in the North at 8-4. Baltimore 6-6 Browns. 2-minute warning. Baltimore 2 timeouts, and here they go. It's underneath the Marquise Brown. Getting a block for Duvernay and tackled by John Johnson. Working inside the 40, shy of the first, picked up 4, got as far as the 37. 4th and 6.
Browns have an injury on the Baltimore sideline. Now it's going to give the Ravens a chance to think about this. Do you go ahead and Justin Tucker, with the wind swirling down there, go ahead and try what would be a 57-yard field goal?
Troy Hill, the injured Cleveland player.
Knowing you need 2 scores, do you go ahead and try the field goal here? It would be kicking into the wind. The direction they're going would be kicking into the wind.
In pregame, he was hitting from 55 in this direction, but he had a 17-mile-an-hour wind at his back. And the wind died in the 3rd quarter, into the 4th, and now it is picked up again. And the telltales on it are blowing from the near side to the far. On this 45-degree day in Cleveland, Ohio. Ravens in their 3rd division game in the space of 14 days. And a repeat matchup with the Browns, who are coming off the bye. 4th and 6, they need the 32. Huntley has got Freeman in the backfield. Hit as he throws, and caught by Bateman. Was he in? Oh my goodness, what a grab!
What a throw! Tyler Huntley.
Down to the 8.
Browns decide to bring pressure on 4th down, blitz both linebackers. Huntley lays it down the sidelines perfectly. Bateman hauls it in.
The rookie from Minnesota brings it in. So, 1st and goal. Huntley zeroes in the end zone, caught for the touchdown. Andrews threading the needle. 9-yard throw. 3-point game, 1:17 to go. And the Ravens, who were down 24-3, have come back to within 3.
What poise and accuracy by Tyler Huntley. He's shown an ability to evade the rush and pick up yards on the ground. But when they needed him the most, through the air, back-to-back darts, getting him in the end zone.
Tucker is perfect on extra points this season and stays that way. It's a 2-point game with 1:17 to go in Cleveland. The Browns coming in and knew they probably had to win 4 of the remaining 5 games. And for those of you just joining us, it began with Cleveland field goal and then a 9-yard touchdown pass to Landry. And then this injury to Lamar Jackson in the first half. Calais Campbell was injured, the best defensive player, earlier as well. Then the heavy pressure here with Garrett getting a sack, fumble recovery, and 6 on a defensive touchdown. Murray plowing in from a yard. And then Huntley, with incredible poise in a nest of Cleveland defenders, finds his tight end in the back of the end zone. The Ravens' last successful onside kick was 2001. They are 0 for their last 26. It's been a long time. Clearly, Tucker has never pulled off a successful onside kick, but here we go. It appears he'll try one here. Oh, it hit a lineman, and it's gathered in. Chuck Clark! Chuck Clark! Chuck Clark has got the ball!
Well, and Janovich was going up to block. He's the one that the ball hits. Watch 31. He's going to make a block. He doesn't even see the ball. It comes up and hits him in the right shoulder. Great awareness by the Ravens to come up with that recovery.
The Baltimore Ravens have had 5 fourth-quarter come-from-behind wins this season. Is number 6 looming? They've got the momentum. They're at their own 41 with 1:15 to go and 2 timeouts. And all they need is a field goal.
2 timeouts and the best kicker in the NFL, but he is going into the win.
Huntley 1st and 10, going deep and looking for Brown, and overshoots him again at the 23 of Cleveland. Marquise Brown was going deep, and they had the best defensive back on the Browns, Denzel Ward, stride for stride. 2nd down and 10.
This Browns defense without 3 starters, cornerback Greg Newsome, safety Ronnie Harrison Jr., and Mike linebacker, who leads the team in tackles, Anthony Walker. So they're depleted as well.
2nd down and 10. Freeman in the backfield, pulling away to the left tackle with the ball. Here comes Clowney! There goes Huntley! Down he goes, back at the 31, in the 4th sack by the Cleveland defense. Timeout taken by the Ravens. With 1:04 to go, Huntley did not know it hit him.
Clowney going right around Phillips, and Huntley got to be aware that those 2 guys on the edge, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, are relentless. As you see, Garrett pushing Alejandro Villanueva back up, so Huntley thinks he's going to escape, but Clowney just keeps working to the outside and is able to come up with a big sack. Baltimore using one of their timeouts to stop the clock.
Mayfield, who's thrown the 2 touchdown passes, cheering on from the side. Tucker prepares on the sideline. Huntley is faced with 3rd and 20. They need the 49 of Cleveland. 3rd and 20. Huntley buys time. Andrews at about the 44. Whacked on the play by John Johnson, picks up 14. Another timeout taken by Baltimore, and they are out. It'll be 4th and 6 with 59 seconds to go.
Kevin, the poise that Huntley is showing is phenomenal. Just a second-year player, as you said, undrafted, getting an opportunity. He did start earlier this season, but in that situation, he calmly completed the ball in the middle of the field. You want to get a chunk of the yardage back that you need to get the 1st down. Now he's putting them in to a makeable 4th down here.
If they don't get 6, It's over. Baltimore is out of timeouts. Let's see what Greg Roman has up his sleeve, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens.
If they are able to pick up the first down, hurry up, get up, and spike the football. You have no timeouts left, as you said.
4th and 6. Inside Bateman, what a big-time hit, and that'll do it. Ward delivers the blow, and the Browns are going to go to 7-6 in a huge win for Cleveland.
What a phenomenal play by Denzel Ward. The Browns decide to bring pressure and go man. Owusu-Koramoah comes on the blitz. He jumps to get the ball. He can't get a hand on it. But Ward is there to drive on Bateman and prevent the first down. All the Browns have to do now is take a knee.
The analytics will tell you that Denzel Ward is a top 5 cornerback in the NFL. And to a knee goes Mayfield. And Cleveland, coming off a bye, is going to go to 7-6. The Ravens will drop to 8-5. And watching that San Francisco-Cincinnati game closely, which comes up next here on CBS.
Well, and the Browns get a much-needed win, and now they get another home game next week. The Las Vegas Raiders need to come to town, whereas the Ravens head back home to take on the Green Bay Packers and have to try and get things turned around.
Oh, a beautiful finish. At one time, Cleveland led it 24-3. But the Ravens did not quit. The number 3 team in the AFC coming into this weekend fought right to the end. They lost their quarterback. They lost their best defensive lineman to injury in this game. And many other starters to injury and COVID. Like the Cleveland Browns, it's just all about survival. The Chiefs crushed the Raiders. Baltimore slips to number 4 in the AFC with an eye on the Bengals and Niners coming up. And Cleveland was coming into this weekend at number 11. They move up with a win today in a beauty on the banks of Lake Erie. Coming up next, the NFL Today. For Trent Green and Melanie Collins, Gene Steratore, Kevin Harlan saying good afternoon from Cleveland. We'll take you to James Brown in New York after these messages.